Part 4. Special Techniques. If you would learn the secret of right relations, look only for the divine in people and things, and leave all the rest to God. J. Allen Boone in Kinship with All Life. A creative visualization notebook. It's a very good idea to start a notebook that can serve as your creative visualization workbook. In this part of the book, I give you a number of written exercises and processes that you might want to do and keep in your notebook. You may wish to write down affirmations that you hear or think of, so that you can refer to them when you need them. There are many other creative ways to use your notebook, such as recording your dreams, goals, and fantasies, keeping a journal of your progress with creative visualization, writing down inspiring thoughts and ideas, or quotes from books and songs that are meaningful to you, drawing pictures, or writing your own poems and songs that express your expanding awareness. I have a notebook in which I regularly work on my goals, affirmations, ideal scenes, and treasure maps, and I have found it a very valuable tool in the transformation of my life. Here are a few suggestions for starting your notebook. 1. Affirmations. Write down your favorite affirmations. You can list them all on one page, or you might want to make a separate page for each with decorative borders and designs, so that each time you read through it you have a beautiful experience as you pause and meditate on each one. 2. Outflow list. Make a list of all the ways that you can outflow your energy to the world and to others around you, both generally and specifically. Include ways that you outflow money, time, love and affection, appreciation, physical energy, friendship, touching, and your special talents and abilities. Add to this list any time you think of new things. 3. Success list. Make a list of everything you feel you are a success at, or have been a success at, or have done successfully at some time in your life. Include things in all areas of your life, not just your work. Write down everything that has meaning for you, even if it might not be meaningful to someone else. Keep adding to it as you think of more things or accomplish new successes. The purpose of this list is to acknowledge yourself and your abilities, which gives you added energy for accomplishing more. 4. Appreciation list. Make a list of everything you can think of that you are especially thankful for, or that you especially appreciate having in your life. Making and adding to this list can really open up your heart and your awareness of the many riches we all have in our lives that we often take for granted. It increases your realization of prosperity and abundance on every level, and thus your ability to manifest. 5. Self-esteem list. Make a list of all the things you like about yourself, all your positive qualities. This is not an ego trip. The better you feel about yourself and the more you acknowledge your own wonderful qualities, the happier and more loving you will be, the more your creative energy will flow, and the greater contribution you will make to the world. 6. Self-appreciation list. Write down all the ways you can think of to be good to yourself, nice things that you can do for yourself, simple indulgences that are just for your own pleasure and satisfaction. 7. Healing and assistance list. Write down the names of any people you know who need healing or special support and assistance of any sort. Write down special affirmations for them. Every time you look through your notebook, you will be giving them a special boost of your energy. 8. Fantasies and creative ideas. Jot down any ideas, plans, or dreams for the future, or any creative ideas that come to you, even if they seem far-fetched, or you're sure you'll never follow through on them. This will help to loosen you up and stimulate your imagination and your natural creative ability. You may find it difficult to take time out of your busy schedule to work in your notebook, yet if you take a few minutes a day or an hour or two every week or so, you will find that so much work is accomplished on the inner plane is often worth 100 times the amount of time and energy you would have spent on the outer plane. Clearing. In learning to use creative visualization, you may get in touch with blocks in yourself that hold you back from attaining your highest good. A block is a place where energy is constricted, not moving, not flowing. Usually, blocks are caused initially by repressed emotions of fear, sadness, guilt, self-criticism, and/or resentment or anger, which cause a person to tighten up and close down spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. In dealing with a block on any level, what's needed is to get energy moving and flowing in that area. The keys to this are, first, mental and emotional acceptance of what you are feeling. On a physical level, this manifests as relaxation and release. Second, clear observation, which leads to an understanding of the root of the problem, which is often a limiting attitude or belief. So in dealing with an area of consciousness where we have a block, we need to first experience as fully as possible the emotion we have locked up in that area, in a loving, accepting way. In doing so, we get the blocked up energy moving and we have a chance to observe the underlying negative beliefs or attitudes which caused the problem to begin with. We can take a good, clear look at them and let them dissolve themselves. Amazingly enough, it seems to be the process of pinpointing the constrictive belief and accepting the feelings you have around it which works magic. The difficulty almost inevitably dissolves and disappears eventually once you've understood and accepted yourself. It's much simpler than you may think. The trick is to simultaneously love and accept yourself compassionately for having this belief, and at the same time see clearly that you are ready to let go of it because it is limiting, destructive, self-defeating, and untrue. Some common core beliefs that are most prevalent and troublesome are, I've done bad things or a bad thing in my life and I deserve to suffer or be punished for it. People, including me, are basically bad, selfish, cruel, stupid, untrustworthy, sinful, or foolish. The world is an unsafe place. There's not enough money, love, good things to go around, so I have to struggle to get my share. Or, it's hopeless, I'll never get enough. Or, if I have a lot, someone else will have to do without. Life is painful, suffering, hard work. It's not meant to be fun or pleasurable. Money is the root of all evil. Money corrupts. The world doesn't work and never will. In fact, it's getting worse all the time. Depressing though they may seem when you listen to them all at once, the fact is that every one of us has bought into some of these or other negative viewpoints about reality, at least to some degree. And it's no wonder that we have incorporated these ideas into our sense of reality. They are all extremely prevalent in our world at this time in our evolution. In fact, the world is currently being run according to these ideas, although fortunately this is rapidly changing. The important thing to realize is that they are only beliefs. They have no objective truth. Although they may seem to be true at times when we look around us, that is only because so many human beings believe them and act accordingly. The most powerful thing you can do to change the world is to change your own beliefs about the nature of life, people, reality, and begin to act accordingly. This book will give you some tools to do so. Clearing exercises. If you are having trouble realizing a goal or sense resistance in yourself to its achievement, try this exercise. First, take a piece of paper and write at the top, "The reason I can't have what I want is." Then, immediately begin to write a list of any thoughts that come into your head to complete the sentence. Don't take too much time to write your answers, and don't take it too seriously. Just quickly write down about 20 or 30 things that come to you, even if they seem silly or stupid. A sample list might start like this. The reason I can't have what I want is I'm too lazy, I don't have enough money. I've tried it before and it never worked. Mother said I couldn't. I'm afraid to. It's too much fun. And so on. Second, try the same exercise, only this time specifically name the thing that you want. For example, the reason I can't have a good job is, and proceed as before. Now just sit quietly for a few minutes with your list and see whether any of the thoughts you've written down ring true for you, whether in some way or degree you believe them. Just get a sense of what kind of limitations you put on yourself and your world. Third, now write a list of all the most negative attitudes you can think of about yourself, other people, relationships, the world, life. Again, sit quietly with your list and get in touch with which of these ideas may consciously or unconsciously hold emotional power over you. If at any point during any of these exercises you feel any emotion coming up, just stay with that and allow yourself to experience it as much as possible with total acceptance. You may get a flash of an early experience or something your parents or teachers used to tell you, which programmed your view of the world in a certain way. Whenever you feel complete with this process, especially if you've gotten in touch with one or more negative beliefs that you hold, simply tear up your lists and throw them away. This symbolizes how little power they actually need to have in your life. And sit quietly, relax, and do some affirmations to replace your constricted, limiting beliefs with more opening, constructive, positive ones. A few possible clearing affirmations. I now release my entire past. It is complete and I am free. I now dissolve all negative, limiting beliefs. They have no power over me. I now forgive and release everyone in my life. We are all happy and free. I don't have to try to please others. I am naturally lovable and likable no matter what I do. I now let go of all accumulated guilt, fears, resentment, disappointments, and grudges. I am free and clear. The world is a beautiful place to be. The universe always provides. More clearing exercises. 1. This exercise is about forgiveness and release. Write down on a piece of paper the names of everyone in your life who you feel has ever mistreated you, harmed you, done you an injustice, or toward whom you feel or have felt resentment, hurt, or anger. Next to each person's name, write down what he or she did to you or what you resent the person for. Then close your eyes, relax, and one by one visualize or imagine each person. Hold a little conversation with each one and explain to him or her that in the past you have felt anger or hurt toward him or her, but now you're going to do your best to forgive the person for everything and to dissolve and release all constricted energy between you. Give the person a blessing and say, I forgive you and release you. Go your own way and be happy. When you have finished this process, write on your paper, I now forgive you and release you all, and throw it away as a symbol that you are letting go of these past experiences. Many people find that this process of forgiveness and release is miraculous in relieving them immediately of their long-standing burdens of accumulated resentment and hostility. The wonderful thing is that the other people involved, even if you never see them again, will, on a psychic level, pick up your forgiveness and it will help to clear up their lives as well. It may be that the first time you do this process, you will not have an experience of relief and release with certain people, especially a parent, spouse, or other very significant person in your life. If there is a strong emotional charge or a lot of deep feeling, it may be necessary to talk to a therapist or counselor, or find a safe place to fully express your anger and hurt. We mustn't try to force ourselves to forgive before we've really accepted and expressed our other feelings. After we do, forgiveness often comes naturally. Continue to do this process from time to time, and eventually it will be resolved for you. Remember, it is for your own benefit, health, and happiness that you are doing this. Many people experience miraculous healing of physical problems after doing this process, as many physical ailments such as cancer and arthritis are directly related to accumulated anger and resentment. 2. Now write down everyone you can think of in your life who you feel you have hurt or done an injustice, and write down what you did to these people. Again, close your eyes, relax, and imagine each person in turn. Tell him or her what you did, and ask the person to forgive you and give you his or her blessing. Then picture the person doing so. When you have finished the process, write at the bottom of your paper or across the whole thing, "I forgive myself and absolve myself of all guilt, here and now and forever." Then tear up the paper and throw it away. Writing affirmations. The technique I'm about to describe has brought some of the fastest and most dramatic changes in my life on many different occasions. It is a combination of writing affirmations and a clearing process, neatly rolled into one. I love it because it is so simple and easy to do, yet it gets down to a very deep level. Writing affirmations is a very dynamic technique because the written word has so much power over our minds. We are both writing and reading them at the same time, so it's like a double hit of energy. Take any affirmation you want to work with and write it 10 or 20 times in succession on a piece of paper. Use your name and try writing it in the first, second, and third persons. For example, "I, John, am a successful singer and songwriter." John, you are a successful singer and songwriter. John is a successful singer and songwriter. Don't just write it by rote. Really think about the meaning of the words as you are writing them. Notice whether you feel any resistance, doubts, or negative thoughts about what you are writing. Whenever you do, even a slight one, turn the paper over and on the back write out the negative thought, the reason why the affirmation can't be true, can't work, or whatever. For example, "I'm really not good enough, I'm too old, this isn't going to work," and so on. Then go back to writing the affirmation. When you're finished, take a look at the back of the paper. If you have been honest, you will have a good look at the reasons why you keep yourself from having what you want in this particular case. With this in mind, think of some affirmations you can do to help you specifically counteract these negative fears or beliefs, and begin to write out these new affirmations. For example, if one of your negative beliefs is, "I can't be more successful than my father was," you could affirm, "My father is proud and happy about my success." Or you may want to stick with the original affirmation if it seems effective, or modify it slightly to be more accurate. Keep working with writing the affirmations once or twice a day for a few days. Once you feel that you've really looked at your negative programming, discontinue writing it out and just keep writing the affirmations. My experience with this process is that often, whatever I've been affirming manifests surprisingly quickly after going through the clearing process, and I have usually received many valuable insights into my own patterns this way. Setting goals. Possibly the trickiest part of getting what you want in life is just figuring out what you really want. And yet, it is certainly the most important part of all. I have found this to be unfailingly true in my life. As soon as I have a very clear, strong intention to create a particular thing, it manifests almost immediately, often within hours or days of getting clear about it, with very little effort involved. The most extreme example of this in my own life was the 10-year process of deep emotional healing that I went through in order to get clear about my intention to find my life partner. Although I thought I was ready for this to happen, I discovered that I had much deep fear and ambivalence. Once I was able to acknowledge these feelings consciously and work with healing my fears, my intention became clear. 3 weeks later, I got together with the man who is now my husband. Discovering what you want in your life can be facilitated by the process of setting goals. I often find it helpful to do some exercises with pen and paper, which I share with you here. When you are working on setting goals, it's important to keep a few things in mind. Remember that setting goals does not mean that you are stuck with those goals. You can change them as often as you want to and feel it's necessary. Goals can be made in the spirit that life is an enjoyable game to be played and one that can be deeply rewarding. They are not to be taken too heavily or seriously. At the same time, you must give them enough weight and importance so they are of real value to you. You may find that the very process of choosing goals brings up a certain amount of emotional resistance in you. You might experience this in various different ways, such as feeling depressed, hopeless, or overwhelmed at the thought of trying to set goals. Or you might feel the desire to distract yourself by eating, sleeping, or other activities. These emotional reactions, if you should have them, are clues to the ways in which you avoid getting what you want in life. It's important to go ahead and experience these feelings and reactions, to go through them and proceed with the process. Once you get into it, you'll find it of value. Then again, you may thoroughly enjoy the whole process and find it very expansive, fun, and enlightening. I hope so. Don't make the choosing of goals too complicated or significant. Start with simple, obvious things. Remember, you can always change and develop them as you go along. Exercises. 1. Sit down with a pen and paper and write down the following categories: personal growth, education, work, career, relationships, creative self-expression, money, lifestyle, possessions, leisure, travel. Now, keeping in mind your present life situation, write down under each category some things you would like to have, to change, or to improve upon in the near future. Don't think too hard about it. Simply write down any ideas that come to your mind as good possibilities. The purpose of this exercise is to loosen you up and get you thinking about what you want in the various areas of your life. 2. Take another piece of paper and write at the top: if I could be, do, and have everything I want, this would be my ideal scene. Now list the same 7 categories, and after each one, write a paragraph or 2, or however much you want, describing your absolute ideal situation in life as far as you can fantasize about it. The purpose of this exercise is to stretch and expand you beyond your present limits, so let your imagination take over and really let yourself have everything you could ever want. When you have finished this, add one more category: world situation, environment. Describe the kinds of changes you would like to see happen in the world in your lifetime if you could have the power to change things: world peace, the end of poverty, people becoming conscious of one another and the earth, living in harmony with nature, schools transformed into exciting learning centers, hospitals becoming true centers of healing, and so on. You can be as creative as you like with this category, and you may find that you have all kinds of interesting ideas you never thought of before. Now reread the whole thing and meditate on it a while. Create a mental picture for yourself of a wonderful life in a beautiful world. 3. Again, take a fresh sheet of paper. Based on what seems most meaningful from the ideal scene you have created above, write a list of the 10 or 12 most important goals for your life as you feel them to be right now. Remember, you can change and revise this list at any time, and you should do so from time to time. 4. Now write down my 5-year goals and list the most important goals you would like to achieve within the next 5 years. In writing your goals, be sure to put down things that are real and meaningful to you, things that you actually want, not what you think you should want. No one else need ever see your goals unless you want him or her to, and this process requires that you be totally honest with yourself. 5. Repeat the process above with your goals for 1 year. Don't make too many. If you have a lot at first, eliminate all but the 5 or 6 most important ones. Check to see that they are in alignment with your 5-year goals. That is, make sure they are moving in the same general direction so that when you accomplish your 1-year goals, you will be a step closer to your 5-year goals. For example, if one of your 5-year goals is to own your own business, one of your 1-year goals might be to have a certain amount of money saved toward that end, or to have a job in a similar business where you are getting a certain type of experience you'll need. Now write out your goals for 6 months from now, 1 month, and 1 week from now. Again, keep it simple and choose the 3 or 4 that are most important to you. Be realistic about how much you can accomplish in the shorter range goals. Again, make sure they are in alignment with your longer range goals. I suggest that you keep your goals in your notebook. Every now and then, perhaps every month or so, or whenever it feels like a helpful thing to do, sit down with your notebook and do some of the processes again, revising and reshaping your goals as needed. Be sure to date your paper each time you do this and keep your lists in order in your notebook, as it is very interesting and informative to look back and see how they gradually evolve. Some general rules. 1. For short-range goals, 1 week, 1 month, be fairly simple and realistic. Choose things that you are pretty sure you can accomplish, unless you especially feel like taking on a big challenge, which can be good sometimes. The more long-range your goal, the more expansive and imaginative you can be, so that your horizons are constantly extended. 2. When you find that you have not accomplished some of your goals, which will inevitably happen, do not criticize yourself or assume that you have failed. Simply acknowledge clearly to yourself that you have not accomplished that goal and decide whether or not it is still a goal for you. That is, decide whether you want to set it again for yourself or whether you want to let it go. It is most important that you acknowledge unaccomplished goals in this way. Otherwise, they may accumulate in the back of your mind and you will feel unconsciously that you have failed, which will eventually make you tend to avoid the goal-setting process. 3. When you find that you have accomplished a goal, even a small one, be sure to acknowledge yourself for that. Give yourself a pat on the back and enjoy at least a moment of satisfaction about it. All too often, we accomplish our goals and forget to even notice or enjoy the fact that we have done so. 4. Don't take on too much at once. Set goals that feel good to you. If you feel overwhelmed, confused, or discouraged, simplify. You may want to work on goals in one area of your life only, such as your job or your relationships. This process is ultimately to help you enjoy your life more. If you set a lot of goals that you don't accomplish, you are probably either setting them unrealistically high or setting goals that you don't truly desire and therefore have no real inner intention of pursuing. Choose goals that you genuinely like and want and are realistic for you. Your goals should make you feel good, uplifted, expanded, full of pleasure, challenged. If not, find ones that do. Ideal scene. Creative visualization can take the form of mental imagery, of spoken or written words, or of a physical image or picture. Anything that helps you create a clear blueprint to put out in the universe is an aid in creative visualization. This exercise helps you create a clear picture through written words. The process of doing it helps you get clearer about what you really want, and it helps you to manifest it. I use it for all my important goals. Think of a goal that is important to you. It can be a long-range or short-range one. Write down the goal as clearly as possible in one sentence. Underneath that, write ideal scene, and proceed to describe the situation exactly as you would like it to be when your goal is fully realized. Describe it in the present tense as if it already exists, in as much detail as you wish. When you have finished, write at the bottom, "This or something better is now manifesting for me in totally satisfying and harmonious ways, for the highest good of all concerned," and add any other affirmations you wish and sign your name. Then sit quietly, relax, visualize your ideal scene at your meditative level of mind, and do your affirmations. Keep your ideal scene in your notebook, in your desk, near your bed, or hang it on your wall. Read it often and make appropriate changes when necessary. Bring it to mind during your meditation periods. One word of warning: if you put it away in a drawer and forget about it, you are very likely to find one day that it has manifested anyhow, without your consciously putting any energy into it at all. I have often looked back through my old goals, ideal scenes, and treasure maps, surprised to find that things I had completely forgotten about had magically come into being in my life, almost exactly as I had originally pictured them. Treasure maps. Making a treasure map is a very powerful technique and fun to do. A treasure map is an actual physical picture of your desired reality. It is valuable because it forms an especially clear, sharp image, which can then attract and focus energy into your goal. It works along the same lines as a blueprint for a building. You can make a treasure map by drawing or painting it, or by making a collage using pictures and words cut from magazine, books, or cards, photographs, lettering, drawings, and so on. Don't worry if you're not artistically accomplished. Simple, childlike treasure maps are just as effective as great works of art. Basically, the treasure map should show you in your ideal scene with your goal fully realized. Here are some guidelines that will help you make the most effective treasure maps. 1. Create a treasure map for a single goal or area of your life so that you can be sure to include all the elements without getting too complicated. This enables the mind to focus on it more clearly and easily than if you include all your goals on one treasure map. You might want to do one treasure map for your relationships, one for your job, one for your spiritual growth, and so on. 2. You can make it any size that's convenient for you. You may want to keep it in your notebook, hang it on your wall, or carry it in your pocket or purse. I usually make mine on light cardboard, which holds up better than paper. 3. Be sure to put yourself in the picture. For a very realistic effect, use a photograph of yourself. Otherwise, draw yourself in. Show yourself being, doing, or having your desired objective, traveling around the world, wearing your new clothes, or being the proud author of your new book. 4. Show the situation in its ideal, complete form as if it already exists. You don't need to indicate how it's going to come about. This is the finished product. Don't show anything negative or undesirable. 5. Use lots of color in your treasure map to increase the power and impact on your consciousness. 6. Show yourself in a real setting. Make it look believable to yourself. 7. Include some symbol of the infinite, which has meaning and power for you. It could be an Om sign, a cross, Christ, Buddha, a sun radiating light, or anything that represents universal intelligence or God. This is an acknowledgement and a reminder that everything comes from the infinite source. 8. Put affirmations on your treasure map. Here I am driving my new red truck with a camper top. I love it, and I have plenty of money to maintain it. Be sure to also include the cosmic affirmation, this or something better now manifests for me in totally satisfying and harmonious ways for the highest good of all concerned. The process of creating your treasure map is a powerful step toward manifesting your goal. Now just spend a few minutes each day quietly looking at it, and every once in a while throughout the day, give it a thought. That is all that's necessary. Some sample ideas for treasure maps. Here are a few possible ideas for treasure maps to stimulate your imagination. Health. Show yourself radiantly healthy, active, beautiful, participating in whatever activities would indicate perfect health. Weight or physical condition. Show yourself with your perfect body, feeling wonderful about yourself. Cut a picture from a magazine that looks like you would look in your perfect condition, and paste a photo of your head on the body. You can make statements with balloons around them coming out of your mouth like cartoons to indicate how you are feeling, such as, I feel wonderful and look fantastic now that I weigh 125 pounds and am in great physical condition. Self-image and beauty. Show yourself as you want to feel about yourself, beautiful, relaxed, enjoying life, warm and loving. Include words and symbols that represent these qualities to you. Relationships. Put photos of yourself and your friend, lover, husband, wife, family member, or coworker in your treasure map with pictures, symbols, and affirmations showing that you are happy, loving, communicating, enjoying a deep, wonderful sexual relationship, or whatever is appropriate and desirable for that relationship. If you are looking for a new relationship, find pictures and words that represent qualities you desire in the person and the relationship. Show yourself with the ideal person for you. Job or career. Show yourself doing what you really want to do with interesting, agreeable co-workers, earning plenty of money. Be specific about how much you want, in the location you desire, and any other pertinent details. Creativity. Use symbols, colors, and pictures that indicate your creativity is really opening up. Show yourself doing and manifesting creative, beautiful, interesting things and feeling great about them. Family and friends. Show members of your family or friends in totally harmonious, loving relationships with you and each other. Travel. Show yourself wherever you want to be with plenty of time and money to enjoy your location. And so on. You get the idea. Have fun. Health and beauty. There are so many ways that creative visualization can be used to maintain and improve our health, physical fitness, and beauty. Like everything else, our health and attractiveness are created by our mental and emotional attitudes. So changing our beliefs and the way we tune into ourselves and the world can have profound physical effects. I've already mentioned the value of doing treasure maps in these areas. Here are a few other techniques that I like to use. I'm sure you'll find many more of your own. Physical exercise. No matter what type of physical exercise you do, you can use creative visualization and affirmation to help you get the maximum amount of benefit and enjoyment from it. You can use visualization both while you are doing the physical exercise and also at other times while sitting in meditation or relaxing. For example, if you like to run, picture yourself running very swiftly, smoothly, and tirelessly. While you are running, imagine that you are taking a huge leap with every step, covering vast territory effortlessly, almost flying. During relaxation periods, affirm to yourself that you are daily growing faster, stronger, and in better physical shape. Picture yourself winning races if that is one of your goals. If you do dance or yoga exercises, while you're doing them, put your consciousness in your body, in your muscles. Picture them relaxing and stretching. See yourself becoming more and more limber and flexible. Use creative visualization to improve your abilities in your favorite sport. Imagine yourself becoming more and more accomplished until you are truly excelling. Beauty treatments. Do things for yourself regularly that make you feel like you are taking special care of yourself and doing nice things for your body. Using creative visualization can turn a daily routine into a beauty treatment ritual. For example, take a hot bath or shower and visualize the hot water totally relaxing, soothing, and healing you. Picture any problems melting or being washed away, and nothing remaining but your natural radiance shining from within. Put lotion or oil on your face and body, giving yourself lots of loving attention, affirming that your skin is becoming smoother and more beautiful all the time. When you wash your hair, put your attention in what you're doing, and affirm that your hair is thicker, shinier, and healthier than ever before. When you brush your teeth, mentally affirm that they are strong, healthy, and beautiful, and so on. Eating rituals. Many people have negative concepts relating to food. We are afraid the food we eat is going to make us fat or make us sick, yet we tend to compulsively continue eating the very foods we fear, thus creating inner stress and conflict and eventually creating the feared effects, overweight and illness. Also, many people are very unconscious while they eat. We're so busy talking and thinking about other things, we fail to tune into the delicious, satisfying taste and nutrition of our food. Eating is really a magic ritual, an amazing process in which various forms of energy from the universe are transformed into the energy that forms our bodies. Whatever we are thinking and feeling at the time is part of the alchemy. Here is a ritual to practice at least once a day if possible, no matter what you are eating. Sit down with your food in front of you. Close your eyes for a moment, relax, and take a deep breath. Silently thank the universe for this food, and thank all the beings who helped provide it, including the plants and animals and the people who grew it and prepared it for you. Open your eyes and look at the food. Really observe what it looks like. Observe how it smells. Slowly begin to eat it, really be aware of and enjoy the taste. As you are eating, talk to yourself silently in your mind and tell yourself that this food is being transformed into life energy for your use. Tell yourself that your body is using everything that it needs and easily eliminating anything that it doesn't need. Picture yourself becoming healthier and more beautiful as a result of eating the food. Do this regardless of any other previous concepts you may have of how good or bad the food is for you. If possible, eat slowly, stop when you feel satisfied, and take a moment or two after you finish it to enjoy the pleasant warm glow that emanates from your stomach when it is satisfied and happy. The more often you remember to tune into your food this way, the more beauty and good health you will create for yourself. Here are some good affirmations for health and beauty. Every day I am growing healthier and more attractive. Everything I do adds to my health and beauty. Everything I eat adds to my health, beauty, and slender attractiveness. I am good to my body, and my body is good to me. I am now slender, strong, and in perfect condition no matter what I do. I am growing stronger and more powerful every day. I now desire to eat only those things that are best for me at any given time. I get hungry only for the foods my body really needs. The more I love and appreciate myself, the more beautiful I am becoming. I am now irresistibly attractive to men or women. I love my body as it is. I am naturally attractive as I am. Creative visualization in groups. Many of the techniques that I provide in this book can be easily adapted for use in groups. Creative visualization is especially good when used by a group because the group energy automatically gives it a lot of power. Each person's energy tends to support the others, and in this case, the whole becomes more than the sum of its parts. No matter what the group you are involved in, whether it is your family or a group of friends, a work group, a social action group, a church or spiritual group, or a workshop or class, you may find that creative visualization provides you with tools for achieving your group's goals, or just for tuning into each other in a deeper way. Here are some of the ways you can use creative visualization in a group. Singing and chanting. Choose songs or chants that express a feeling, an idea, or an attitude that you want to create or cultivate in yourselves and in the world. Music is very powerful in affecting change. Meditating and imaging. Choose a goal or image and have everyone sit in silent meditation, visualizing and affirming it together. You may be amazed at the results. Treasure mapping. Have each person create his or her own treasure map for a group goal, or as a group, create one treasure map together. Or you can even appoint a committee to make a treasure map. Affirmations. Do affirmations in partners, as I describe in the section on how to use affirmations, or have the whole group speak affirmations aloud together. Healing. Healing in groups is a wonderful experience. Refer back to the section on healing meditations. Creative visualization in relationships. One of the most valuable ways we can use creative visualization is in improving our relationships. Because human beings are so sensitive to each other on so many levels, we are especially susceptible and receptive to the thought forms that we hold about each other. It is these thought forms and the underlying attitudes that they reflect which form our relationships and cause them to work or not work. In a relationship, as in everything else, we get exactly what we believe in, expect, and ask for on our deepest levels. The people we are in relationship with are always a mirror reflecting our own beliefs, and simultaneously we are mirrors reflecting their beliefs. A relationship with another human being is one of the most powerful tools for growth that we have. If we look honestly at our relationships, we can see so much about how we have created them. Take an attitude of total responsibility about your relationship. Assume for a moment that you alone are responsible for creating it the way it is, no matter how much it may look to you like the other person is responsible for certain things. If there are certain things about the relationship that are unsatisfying to you, ask yourself why and how you have created it that way. See if you can discover what core beliefs you have that cause you to create a less than satisfying, happy, loving relationship. What is the payoff for you in keeping yourself in an unhappy space? There's always a payoff in everything we do, otherwise we wouldn't do it. If you truly desire to have deeply fulfilling, happy relationships in your life, if you believe that it is possible for you to have them, and if you're willing to accept that happiness and satisfaction, then you can and will create relationships that work for you. Here are some things you can do to help you with your relationships. 1. Look at your goals in the relationship. What do you truly want out of this relationship? Consider all levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Write out an ideal scene, or do a treasure map that expresses your perfect visualization in this relationship. 2. Take a good, honest look at what beliefs and attitudes are keeping you from creating what you want. You can use a clearing process to help you get in touch with your limiting attitudes. For example, you can write, "The reason I can't have a perfect relationship with blank is," or "The reason I can't have what I want in this relationship is," then write all the responses that come up for you. 3. Use affirmations and visual imagery to change your negative beliefs and to start visualizing and creating beautiful, loving, fulfilling relationships. 4. Use visualization to improve a difficult relationship. Let us say, for example, that you have difficulty getting along with someone and you would like to create a more harmonious relationship with that person. After relaxing into a deep, quiet, meditative state of mind, imagine the two of you relating and communicating in an open, honest, and effective way. Imagine saying to this person anything you need to communicate in order to clear things up between you. Imagine the person listening and hearing you, then saying anything he or she needs to say with you listening in return. Repeat this exercise as needed. If you are sincere in your desire and intention and truly open to change, you may soon find that the relationship is becoming easier and more flowing, and that the other person seems to become more agreeable and easier to communicate with. Eventually, you may find that the problem will resolve itself completely in one way or another to the benefit of all parties concerned. This resolution may involve an actual communication with the person, or it may not. 5. The technique of saying affirmations to each other can often help to improve relationships dramatically. Of course, it's very important to communicate with each other honestly from your true feelings about what you like and don't like and what you want. But instead of continuously complaining about each other's shortcomings and weaknesses, try making an agreement to affirm to each other that you are improving and making progress in your growth and development. So instead of, "George, why do you always interrupt me when I'm saying something?" you might agree to say to George at appropriate moments, "I appreciate the way you're becoming a good listener." In this way, you not only remind George in a friendly way to be a better listener, but you also begin to change your image of George as well as George's image of himself. In ongoing relationships, all too often we have gotten stuck in certain roles and images with each other which we find difficult to change. It's as if we've put ourselves and each other in a certain box with certain labels on it. We find this very limiting and confining, but don't always know how to step out of it. Creative visualization provides us with a wonderful tool for expanding out of our roles and stereotypes. Begin to visualize and affirm new images for yourself and for the other person. See the potential for positive change within every person and every situation, and give energy and support to that positive change through creative visualization. Remember, however, that human relationships are very complex. Our relationships perfectly reflect our own inner process. They are wonderfully effective mirrors to help us see the next step of our own growth. So if relationship difficulties persist, it is a message to us that a deeper level of our own healing is needed. I strongly recommend getting support from a good therapist or counselor who can help us see what the problems in our relationships are trying to teach us.